Hey everyone, it's Sunday, so it is time for story time. If it looks like I have a lump on my shoulder, that's not a lump. That's actually a gecko. A very, very, very large gecko who now decided to go to the center of my back. So I'm going to try to get him off of me so you can see how cool this is. This is like one of my first times actually dealing with this type of gecko. It is called a Leachianus gecko. These guys come from New Caledonia, just like our crested geckos do. But this is one of the largest gecko species in the world. These guys get over 12 inches long. Some of the biggest ones get 12, 14, or even 16 inches long. Now, one of the coolest things about them is all that amazing camouflage. So depending on where they're at in New Caledonia that these giant geckos come from, they're actually gonna have different color variations. So this one has some really cool purples mixed in with all this white, and then the rest of it is meant to look like lichen. So lichen is this thing that grows on trees. It's usually like grayish, bluish, sometimes brown and green, kind of like moss. So they basically blend in that way. This one's cage mate is actually all ashy brown with little specks of green. So they can have all kinds of cool colors and variations on them, especially again depending on where they come from. So this guy, sorry, I'm just trying to make sure he doesn't go too far, has an interesting looking face. If you've watched the Jurassic Park movies, you notice the way the scaling is around the faces. And this guy has that same type of scaling, which is pretty cool looking. And unlike other geckos, he actually has nails. I don't know if you can see those very well. They're pretty curled in. But he has fingernails helping him dig in and climb. See, most geckos have these like microscopic type fibers on their toe pads. And when they go onto something, those little finger-like structures in there, they find the variations in your skin and wood and glass. That's what allows them to stick to it. But these guys are so heavy-bodied, they can't rely on that. So they actually have the nails to help them dig in. So they got the nails, they help them dig in, they grab onto the side of the tree, and then you can kind of see how the skin folds on the side of his neck and face. This is meant to press him up against pieces of wood so he blends in and looks like whatever tree or bark that he's just sitting on. So he'll sit up against rotted trees and live ones. So where they come from, it's pretty humid, so basically everything looks wet and rotted all the time, has lichens and mosses growing on them, and that's just how he blends in and stays with everything. Now, you gotta wonder what these guys eat. They're mainly a fruit eater, but they also eat insects, and they'll be opportunistic. Every once in a while, they'll eat things like baby mice or baby birds, but for the most part, they're going after fruit. And most of the time, if you're finding a piece of rotted fruit on the ground, you're also gonna find insects in it. So they're kind of getting two meals in one. So we feed them a wide variety of stuff here. We feed them Pangea mix, which is a special blend of like powdered fruit that we mix with a little bit of water, and it kind of makes like a baby food substance for them. So we have all kinds of different flavors to offer them, and we change it up all the time. Then also give them some insects just for a little bit of variety. So we're gonna get you back to the front, if we can. You know, most videos you watch on YouTube, the person would be cutting the video at this point and not showing you this. But if you've watched my videos before, you know that I don't edit, and I don't edit for a reason, because I want you to see the mistakes that get made and also the random things like this that end up happening as you're shooting a video, because animals are not 100% cooperative like most videos make them look. When you're seeing animal videos, a lot of times you're seeing like the culmination of like 15 or 20 takes. I don't like doing that because then it gives you the wrong impression that it's really easy to go ahead and handle some of these animals, and a lot of times it's not. Sometimes it can be nerve-wracking, and sometimes they don't want to participate, or they just don't want to cooperate, but he seems pretty calm now. So, we've learned a lot about our gecko, we've learned about my mistakes and why I don't cut videos, so we're gonna get hop to it. We're gonna read a book called Just Me by Marie Hall Ets. So I hope you're ready, big guy. A little bird sat on a post by the barn. He was singing with joy to greet the new day. He did not know that Biddy, our cat, there we go, was creeping up through the grass, ready to catch him. "Fly, little bird," I called and clapped. "Quick, fly away." And he did. That made Biddy mad, but she walked back through the grass to hunt something else, and I followed and I walked just like her. Over by the gate, Cocky the rooster was looking for worms. "Cocky," I said, "I can't fly like a bird, but I can walk like a cat, and I can walk like a rooster. Let me see how a rooster walks." So Cocky walked on, and I folded my wings and walked just like him. Pearl, our pig, was taking a bath and nap in some mud. "Pearl," I said, "let me see how pigs walk." But Pearl was too lazy to get out of the mud. So I lay down beside her and I took a bath and nap too. But I took my bath and nap on dry ground because I had my clothes on. A rabbit was nibbling some leaves off a bush. "Rabbit," I said. He didn't have any name because nobody owned him. "Rabbit, I can't fly like a bird, but I can hop like a rabbit. Let me see how you do it." So Rabbit went off hoppity hop hop, and I hopped just like him. A snake went wriggling through the grass. "Snake," I said, "I can't fly like a bird, but I can wriggle like you. Let me see how you do it." But Fraidy Cat Snake darted off his hole so fast I couldn't even see how he did it. So I'm not sure that I wriggled just like him. Lulu the Cow was out in the pasture eating grass to turn into milk. "Lulu," I said, "I can walk like a cow. Let me see how you do it." Lulu didn't stop eating, but she took a few steps to show me. So I put down my head and ate grass too, and walked just like her. In front of the barn, I met Gonky the moose. "Gonky," I said, "I can't fly like a bird, but I can walk like a goose. Let me see how you do it." Gonky spread his wings and started to run, so I spread my wings too and ran just like him. Old Flora, our horse, stood under a tree. She was thinking of something, I don't know what. "Flora," I said, "I can't fly like a bird, but I can walk like a horse. Let me see how you do it." So Flora opened her eyes and walked on a few steps, and I walked just like her. A squirrel sat under the oak tree. He was biting the shell off of a nut. "Squirrel," I said, "I can hop like a rabbit and walk like a horse, and I think I can climb like you. Let me see how you do it." So Squirrel dropped his nut and climbed up the fence, and I climbed up too. Spunky the goat was over by the fence eating flowers and weeds. "Spunky," I said, "let me see how you walk." But Spunky didn't want to walk. She wanted to butt. She put her head down and kicked her leg and butted. So I put my head down and I butted just like her. Where do you think you're going? Over by the haystack I met a frog. He was just keeping cool in the shade. "Frog," I said, "I can't fly like a bird, but I can hop like a rabbit and climb like a squirrel, and I can leap like a frog. Let me see how you do it." So Frog leaped away, and I leaped just like him. Down near the woods, I met an old turtle. He wasn't doing anything at all. "Turtle," I said, "I want to walk like you. Let me see how you walk." And I touched him with a stick, but old turtle just pulled in his head and legs and hid in his shell. So I hid in my shell too. When I came through the cornfield, I could see the pond, and there was Dad. He was untying the boat. "Dad," I called, "Dad, wait for me." But Dad didn't hear, so I started to run. And now I ran like nobody else at all, just me. And when Dad heard me, he waited and helped me into the boat. And together we went to sea. Dad and me on the pond at the end of the cornfield. It's a pretty interesting book about trying to mimic different things that you see. But in the end, it just matters to be just you. Because there's only one you, and there's only one person like you, and there will only ever be one person like you. So always just be yourself, even if that means being a dinosaur-looking gecko, and even if that means if you like to walk like a duck or walk like a cow or just running through the cornfield, you can do whatever you want to do. Just always be yourself. Right, buddy? You want that close up? Can you even see yourself? That's okay. Okay. We'll call it a night. Have a good night, everybody.